Hello and welcome at the finals of European Club Cup 2021. I am a host of the event, a woman grandmaster Keti Zazalashvili, and the event is organized by European Chess Union and Monte Carlo Chess Club under the high patronage of His Serene Highness Prince Albert II of Monaco. And now it's time to take a look at the participants. Well, we saw all the participants, all the European teams who qualified through all the stages. We have nine teams, and also we have the team, the winner of a Women Club Cup, Monaco Monte Carlo chess team, and we are going to start to analyze the games exactly from this team. Monte Carlo Chess Club is facing the team from Azerbaijan, Oldar Yurdu, which I just learned that the name means land of fire. And let's take a look now at the chessboard. On the first board here, we see Alexandra Garechkina against Kadir Gusainev. Alexandra Garechkina, the challenger of current world female champion Juvenjun, is playing with white pieces. We already have 13 moves played. Alexandra and Gadir, they are both playing quite fast. Seems like they are in their home preparation. We can start from the beginning and we might know how to get there. So we have 1d4 and we have King's Indian defense. We know that this is really sharp setup with both pieces, where we have the exchange pawns in the center. Black managed to push d5, and here we have knight c6. It looks like a sacrifice of the c pawn, but in return, black can take b2 pawn with a bishop. This is one idea. Another idea might be to just to play bishop b7, which is on the board, and after rook c2, just to capture this pawn on e4, the central pawn. So far, according to my knowledge, when black managed to push d5 in this type of positions, and it's yeah, this is working well, and black actually equals the position. This is the first board of Monte Carlo and Old Arioldo, and we can meanwhile go to the next game. I see only one move. White made a move. Crowning Pia, legendary chess player, a grandmaster. She used to be number one rated female chess player, and still she is active player, and she does this amazing. She loves to play chess, but now I don't see her playing. Uh, Probably we're gonna see her. We're gonna see her on the screen, and we're gonna see her first moves. And back in the game of Gadir and Alexandra, here Alexandra went to f4. She doesn't want to trade pieces in the pawns in the center. She keeps this pawn, maybe hoping to push later on f5 and start to attack on the king side. The third board of the match, here we have with white pieces German chess player Elizabeth Patz against Vasily Durabayev. Oh, I see Pia. I see Pia on the screen. That's Pia Crowning on the Zoom call. She's here, but maybe we just don't get the moves yet. Maybe we just don't get the moves. It's so good to see her that actually she's playing. So the third board of the match is very interesting. We have double pawns on the king side. Let's take a look how we got in here. 1d4, knight f6, and c3. C3, this is something that you will not see in classical chess, but in online chess, moves like C3 and the setups are very popular. Players just enjoy to develop the pieces fast, make sure that nothing is wrong, and then just to save some time on the clock and to play there in the middle game and in the end game. So position looks like equal here. There is some downs with double F pawn, but on the other hand, black also can get the rook on g8, not castle at all, and to start annoying the white's king side. Elizabeth Petz is on the screen right now on Zoom call. So ladies just joined the tournament. That's gonna be interesting, interesting fights. So we're gonna have 2 days of finals. Today we have 4 games, and tomorrow we're gonna have rest of the games. And I'm very happy that I will be joined by a special guest today, and I cannot wait. The next board and the final board is Eltash Safarli against Monika Sochko. Let's take a look at the beginning. Looks like French defense. 1e4, e6, and after d4, d5, now white decides to play knight d6 and then e5. Then an e5 anyway. We know this pawn structure is really challenging for both sides. Usually white plays on the king side because of the pawn, and black plays on in the center, attacks d4 pawn, and also on the queen side. So we have a4, this quick development on the queen side. Monika wants to get best out of the position and develops pieces quite fast. Knight d4, challenging the knight to trade or to defense, but to take on d4 looks more logical rather than defense, passive defense, queen c7. And after knight d4, we can predict that castle might happen on the board. So this is the final game of this match. Here we have the videos of Monica and Safarli. The players are joining Zoom call with two cameras, one front camera and one side camera. In the case of AL Touch Safarli, we have additional bonus camera. As you can see, the mirror on the wall. We can see whole room of AL Touch Safarli. Um, they are very focused. The time control is 15 minutes plus 5 seconds increment for each move. Um, and yes. The total prize fund is 14,000 euros. So, and we also have special prices for the boards. So players are quite motivated. Let's go back and let's see the game. Jordan Van Forest, the winner of Tata Steel, um, and Jan Krzysztof Duda, Polish super grandmaster, playing each other. Um, this is the match between Poland Huzzards and Clichy Achas. And let's take a look what is really happening here. As we have few moves, I would like to start it from the beginning, and we have one e4, c5, and we have Sicilian defense. Sicilian is never boring. d4, c takes c4, knight takes d4, knight f6, and after knight c3 here, black has many options, and Duda goes for Najdorf, queen d3, bishop b2, and yeah, white decided to sacrifice the e4 central pawn, and of course, black says, my advice for Sicilian player with black pieces is take everything your opponent gives, because in the end, when you survive, you're gonna have that material extra. So we have knight straights, and after knight f6, we have d5. Seems like Duda feels comfortable here to play with extra piece. Um, worth to mention that white has really good play here, as black has not developed the pieces yet. The bishop is stuck on f8 to defense g7 pawn, and of course the king is center. King belongs on the short side in this type of positions. King on the long side would be a suicide here for black. So let's see how Duda will find the way of the development. He has to develop his king side. The second board on the same match. Here we have the position from Queen's Gambit. Let's take a look. Oh, Queen's Gambit accepted. So here black accepted the sacrifice on c4, and white goes for very strong center, controls all the important squares, and then also aiming to grab this pawn back. But of course black is not giving up that easily and plays b5, e5. This is all the theory, and now white captures b5 pawn. And we have this type of development. Here in these positions, black is aiming. I have full control over d5 square, so your structure is not strong. You gave me control over d5 square. I'll get this bishop later, maybe knight even, and I'm all right here in this position. Looking to the pawn structure, e5 pawn always calls for the attack on the king side. Bishop is also ready to sacrifice at some point, but only one bishop cannot really checkmate the black pieces. For the attack on the king side, white will need white will need more pieces. White will need this queen to be more active, and the light square bishop seems like very good play here for black. Black has a target on b3. Rook is already on b5. Bishop is also ready to capture this pawn, and here white has a challenge. White has a challenge to find the plan. Let's get to next game. This is Basan Amin and Bartosz Sochko. So Sochko family are playing today in this event, but not in the same team, in a different team. And here we have the position. This is endgame already. Hold on, what's that? All right, this is not a mouse sleeper or something. It's just a sacrifice here. And if black takes this knight. Seems like black was really annoyed by two knights on d5 and on c6, and he said, okay, enough of this. I have to get rid of one of the knights. So he plays bishop c5, and if white takes pawn c5, then rook takes, and after capturing on b6, we might have this kind of scenario where the position is equal, while black has these unpleasant pawns here, double pawns, but I doubt that that's enough for white to win the game. Still, we have this position, and players are using the time. Let's go to the next game. I will just slowly cover all the games unless I have something interesting. All right, maybe I have something interesting. Yeah, a lot of interesting positions. For example, this is Niels Grandelius and Vladislav Artemiev. Very sharp position. This is the match between Hamburg Chess Club and Latia Kazan. This is the board one, and here we have the typical position of Sicilian defense. When white creates so much tension in the center, black keeps the king in the center and says that's the place where king belongs. It's safer here than on g8. And on the other hand, I will start to push the pawns on the queen side and weaken the white king. That's what happened. And it's black to move right now. Artemiev is thinking the move he might think is a3. That's the first move which comes to our mind to open up the king even more. Is there something better here? There might be some knight jumps, knight a5, knight b3. A lot of ideas, and here this is really critical moment and really good timing for black to think how to proceed the game. If you find something interesting position that I'm not covering for the moment, you can just publish that in social media, tag European Chess Union, and we're gonna see that, we're gonna share that. Okay, let's get back to the match of Poland Hussards and Clichy at chess. And here we have the third board, Tomczak Jacek against Van Valley Lock. What is this position? Looks really interesting, really interesting. This pawn structure means that white is ready to go forward, push the pawns even more with f5, f6. On the other hand, black has a pair of bishop, and no single weaknesses. All right, maybe this is the weakness. This is the weakness, but bishop c6 can easily defend. And there is also the question: do I really need this pawn on e4 if I were black? Maybe without this pawn, then this bishop gets on c6 and controls the whole diagonal here. That might be the plan of black to give up that pawn. The final move was f6. This is how Dutch player decides to stop the attack on the king side and also open up the position. Why not? On the screen, you can see a Russian chess player, very focused. This is Arsemiev on the screen. Back to the game to Alexandra Gorechkina and Kadir Kusanov. Do you also see one queen on the board? I don't see second queen. What really happened? All right, black offered draw. I see some things here. We have to get there. Okay, this is the last moment we checked the game, and here d takes e4, f4, and after queen a5, which was played here by Gadir, he offered draw. But Alexandra declined and she played queen d7, very active move, and then rook c7, and black had to give away his rook. Girls in the game, girls in the game. So this is interesting. This is really interesting. Once again, we have to take a look here. Queen d7, very aggressive move. Seems like queen a5 was a blunder. Queen d7 targets the bishop. Bishop has to leave, and now rook comes on the 7th rank. Seems like black has not any proper way to defend this, because if rook f8, which looks quite normal move here, is that move like before winning the piece? Before b5 or rook c5 or bishop c5? A lot of moves. There was something that Gadir got annoyed by, and he decided to sacrifice a queen for rook and the bishop as well. All right, 3 minutes to against 6 minutes. We have here huge difference on time, but also white has advantage, material advantage. The bishop is light square bishop is really strong and has no opponent, and black is trying to demolish the queen side pawns to get a weakness and then to attack this weakness. And it's interesting what is Alexandra's plan here, how she will go forward. She can keep the pawn and push b4, b5, b6. This bishop supports it. She can just wait here for black to capture the b3 pawn. And also, I think it's gonna be a really smart decision just to play a h3 pawn, just to have the safe square on h2. This is the safest square for a king, because this rook and the bishop will be really dangerous for this king. Alexandra here decides to capture the a4 pawn, and what is her idea after taking here? Is there a queen? Queen? No. Rook c2. She just plays very calm moves. Queen c2. She defends this, and slowly she will try to convert this advantage into the point. That's gonna be the story of the round. One game already finished. This is Navarra and Vitukov. They ended in a draw. The position when I checked was equal. Endgame. If you want to see more games, I cannot cover at the same time all the games, of course. If you want to see all the games, please visit Chess24 platform. You can find out all the games there. And this is third board, and I see that second board was given a loss here, Pia Kramnik, but we saw Pia Kramnik on the screen, right? That's interesting. So here White is trying to trade the queens. Rooks are off the board. White is trying to trade the queens and play a little bit safe. In the end game, it's hard to play against pair of bishop. Slowly, Black will manage to create a space advantage, some weaknesses as well, but that's what White prefers to play. And on the other hand, she has a good reason, because also the pawn structure is ruined on the Black side. Queen takes, bishop takes next move, and knight e4. Black will now coordinate the pieces. We'll probably push e5 at some point, f6, e5, get this king at the better squares. Maybe also bishop will get better square, and slowly he will improve the position. This is interesting. This is interesting. Altash Safarli and Monika Sochko. The material is equal, and this is really sharp position. Now the queen is on threat. Queen has to leave the place. Maybe queen queen b6, and the bishop will chase the queen. Bishop will chase the queen. No, bishop is not going to be chaser. He plays bishop c3. Yeah, pair of bishop is a strength, and Eltouch Safarli is going to use this strength. Now the knight is on attack. What I'd really like here with Black is the full control of a file. This pawn is now hanging. There might be some motifs of back rank mates. We're gonna see this. Knight g6. Knight wants to jump on f4 and create some danger on the king side, and also attack the queen. On the other hand, bishop can also come on f6 and eliminate this bishop, or bishop can also come on c5 and attack f2 pawn. I think it's double-edged position. Both sides has really good chances to win the game. Just want to know what is happening in the game of Kadir Gusainov and Alexandra Goryachkina. We don't have much changes here. Black is holding the position. White is thinking how to get it better, but she's losing the time, and the position is the same. So, and now a2 pawn is also gone. Maybe draw is okay here. Let's go forward and let's check out the next game. This is the match between Mednik Vsadnik and Novi Bar, and here we have Ferasiev and Vidit on the first spot, fighting for the victory. For the previous stages, all the teams were trying to qualify, and now from today and tomorrow, the all the points are important. All the team points are important, and they will be really really focused. On the screen, you see Fedosev, and you can also see in the corner the chess clock, wooden chess clock, which used to be quite famous before we got electronic clock. I am that old. I remember that clock. I never played on it, but I remembered it. And with it here, also on the screen, with his lamps. He is a streamer. He streams so much lately, and we see in his room these lightnings. Indian grandmaster. I would say Indian super grandmaster. Why not? And also very very nice person. Um, Jan Christoph Duda won the game. Jan Christoph Duda won the game. Let me quickly show this. This is he won against the Jordan Van Forest, and here we have a resignation. We got this position at this point. At this point, let's see how here how Black played and how Black managed to win the game. So he gives the bishop away. All right. That's smart. That's smart. He plays on just with the tembis. He just get this queen rid of this g7 pawn, and now he quickly develops the bishop. And next move might be the castle. Here we have a castle, and he has just an extra pawn. He has just an extra pawn. White resigned. Okay, I thought it was some issue on time or of internet, but no, White resigned. White could not play anymore because, all right, it makes sense. Now the bishop is hanging, and it's hard to defend this bishop. If we try to defend this bishop, then knight is hanging also on d4. Let me quickly show this. If queen b3, rook takes, queen takes, and bishop takes d4, there's a check and wins also the queen. So here in this position, Jordan Van Forest decided to, that's okay, let's resign here. I have to play more 3 games today. Another game in the same match as ended here as a victory of Black, and here in this position as White resigned as well. So you can see here the pawn on h2 is hanging, hard to defend the checkmate threat. Radoslav Wojtaszek and Maxim Matlakov. Here we have the next match here. This is the game between Mednik Sadnik and Novi Bar. The board 2. A third and fourth game are already finished in a draw. So the for the moment the result between these teams are tie 1-1, and this game is very important, as well as Fedosev and the Vidit game. So these 2 games will decide the winner of the match. Is Black winning here? I think Black is winning here. Is there? Oh no. Okay, there's a check. There is a check, and knight is hanging. So if king goes here, and white takes here, Black captures this bishop with a check, and then can also take this c3 pawn. There is an extra knight, and after this, there's not check yet, and Black can get this queen back, cover the king from checks, and Black can win this. Let's quickly check. Oh, okay, he decides to go g6. He decides to go g6. And after queen f7 check, knight g7. This is interesting. So now it's time for bishop to move. bishop moves here. Okay, if bishop moves here, black will capture c3 pawn. There's not bishop d4 anymore. And if bishop goes on f4, in this case, black will capture a4 pawn, and there's not bishop e5. So that's how black is getting another pawn. Uh, After bishop e3, we have queen d1 and queen d7 check. He doesn't want to grab more pawns. He wants to make sure that there's no more checks and everything is safe, and then he can collect all the pawns. All right. More games finished here. Let me get only running games, and we have a couple of them. Bishop d4. White gets really active with this battery. I was afraid of that. I would like to trade more pieces. Um, Oh, this is interesting. We have to take a look at this game. White is trying here to checkmate the king. Black king has no square, no square. One move, g5, and the game is over. And there is only one check here. Oh no. There was a checkmate on the board. And we have the resignation. Very beautiful position. Let's take a look. It started from here, or even earlier, and here black tried desperately to give some checks, and yeah, if not rook f6 here, if black continues to give some checks, then king will hide. King will hide here, and there's no more check, and there's no defense from g5 checkmate. Beautiful. I like this position very much. All right. Interesting. Here we have another opposite color of bishop on the board. We had plenty of them, and today we have in the game of Jacek Tomczak and Lagwan Valley, and they played already 51 moves. They will play more, but the position is interesting here. The pawns are blocked on dark squares, and king has to defend. If pawns goes to light squares on g4, h3, then there will be no single problem here for white. White will control g3 square. All right. So black is trying, but after g4, I can already play here with white bishop c7, but the strategy what here Jacek is choosing is just to stuck with this pawn. Now king cannot move forward. King cannot move forward. Okay, there is some chances that white black found. So if you play some careless move like bishop d6, then king comes on g4, and the bishop is out of the game. So he goes for g4, opens the file for the bishop, and that's the position what we have right now. Black is now trying to access on the queen side, and no, that was a head shake of Jacek Tomczak, which means that he's about to give up, and he knows that something is not right. And king c4, king b3, this pawn will be also captured, and 3 pawns are unstoppable. Something really went wrong here for white. here Van Valley is thinking to capture this pawn, or maybe Towncheck just got him some trap. Oh, quite dramatic, quite dramatic. So here we have White is trying to get this king in the corner, but now e2. Can I play e2? And if bishop g3, then h2. And if king comes on d2, then king b3 or king b2, king b1. Okay, let me be more precise. King b1 and just pushes this pawn. Oh wow, that was heartbreaking. What was the mistake? Let's take a look once again. There was, yeah, exactly. That's the moment. That's the moment where I think White gave some chances here, and White could play bishop on c3. And in the same scenario, this bishop is already here on this file. Wow. Opposite color of bishops are always so tricky, always so tricky. Unfortunately, black has this path that if king gets on d5, then king comes here and this pawn will be unprotected, and bishop cannot defend this. Bishop cannot come here on c1 and be passive and defensive. It can be because now black has two pass pawns. There was a final game of this match. Van Valley, the Dutch chess player, is still at the desk and he's checking out the results. Maybe you can also take a look at the results on Chess24 and check out the winner teams who has better mood now for the last three rounds for today. So winners are Clichy at chess. They won 3-1 to Poland Wizards. The same result we have in the match Oldar Yuldu and Monte Carlo. That's the female team. And the same result we have in the third match. This is Ladia Kazan won over Hamburg Chess Club. We have one tie between Mednik, Sadnik, and Novibor, the Russian team and Czech team. And all right, he's here. We have another other teams. German team SF Daizizu won against English team Forencial Gulford. All right, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. Those two teams from Germany and from England, they were more or less equal. No, not equal. According to the rating, what we see on the clock, the favors were English team, but here we have the result. All right, really interesting day, really interesting start. We're gonna have the second round soon. Now players are having some time to rest. Let me check if we have something interesting position. I will try to keep that, bring that on the board. That's the first round. I have energy yet. We can keep here a little bit more before players are having rest. This is the position Fedosiev and Vidit here. Fedosiev resigned because of the check here, and White is losing lots of material. Something went really bad here for White. Let's take a look. A lot of weaknesses, and all right, this is blunder, is it? This is a blunder. This is a blunder that White just missed. White could play here king g2. The position is complicated, but after queen c4, White missed this check. Rook takes, and then another check. Oh, no, no, no. Two blunders. That move blundered two motifs here. And pawn cannot take this because queen is unprotected, and it's almost checkmate. Knight should come on g2, and after capturing this, is a checkmate now. King cannot move anyway. And in the game of Wojtaszek and Matlakov, this is the result what we have. Black managed to get this a4 pawn, and then just to put the pieces together, and here we have resignation after knight e5. If bishop takes e5, there's queen d5, queen will capture this bishop, and white has nothing to play for, and we had resignation. This is the game between Navara and Vityugov. Looks very symmetrical position here, and players agreed on a draw. Another draw happened in the game of Matthias Blaubaum and Mickey Adams. Here, white seems to repeat the moves, but it looks like some sacrifices. Shall we see it from the middle game? Okay, let's start from here. And they are just moving. We have here hanging pawns with black pieces, but also really active pieces here, which these hanging pawns are these pieces are helping each other. If white trades here somehow some of the pieces, that's gonna be then weakness, but yeah, all right, that's what whites try to do. And knight takes h5, sacrifice, queen takes h5, and here white decides to draw because there is impossible to bring rooks in the game because all these files are closed for this rook, and seems like draw is normal result here. Another symmetrical pawn endgame and rook endgame happened in the game. David Howell and Alexander Donchenko, they also agreed here on a draw. Oh, this is beautiful. George Meyer against Luke McShane here after c takes d6. Okay. Black resigned because we have a fork on the board and very hard position. The game Gadakamsky and Rasmus Svans. Here we have resignation because there's not any single check or the way to get rid of this mating thread on b7. And here black had to resign. All right, that was it. Oh, last one. I have to show this one as well. This looks interesting. This is the last game. So it seems like black here resigned because it's impossible to stop this pawn. But let's take a look how we got in here. So it was the starting position where white has a little edge because of the connected pass pawn. We have some moves here, and this pawn is pushed, and oh no, we have this blunder. I think black could play a little bit more. Black could play here a little bit more. Maybe at some point is e5. Or just capture here on f3. The position is hard, but this one was a blunder indeed. All right, that was interesting. I will take a short break and I'll come just before the start of the second round. I hope I'll gonna see you for that time. So see you soon.
Chess is a game that is 1,400 years old. How come that today it is regarded as an important educational activity used in schools all over Europe? To answer this question, we must ask ourselves what the future will look like and how the schools are preparing children for the challenges ahead. Extremely rapid changes in social conditions, climate changes, artificial intelligence, automation, a new digital era. Scientists predict that the upcoming 20 years will bring more changes in the structure of human society than the previous 300 years have had altogether. This will affect us all, but most importantly, our children. To make them ready for these advancing changes, we need to give them different skills. Scientists talk about the 4 C's: critical thinking, communication skills, collaboration skills, creativity. Schools must find the teaching methods which adapts to the needs of the society and provide children with different mindsets that can be used in the digital era, preparing them for online and real-life experiences. Why chess? To reach the 4 C's, we need to teach our children pro-social behaviour, pattern recognition, problem solving, memory skills, generalization of knowledge. Chess trains all the 4 C's. It is a classical board game that is easy to use in the classroom, but also perfect for the virtual world. Gamification has proven to be a crucial educational method in the modern age because children are simply used to learn by playing. Chess crosses all borders. It encourages children to win with grace and lose with dignity. As one of the fastest growing educational methods in Europe, over 6 million kids play chess at school. And every day, new schools take up this wonderful learning opportunity. European Chess Union. We make Europe smarter.
Welcome back. This is the second round of the finals at European Club Cup 2021. I am Women Grandmaster Keti Tazalashvili, and we are ready to take a look at the pairings for round 2. Here we have Poland Hussards versus Ladia Kazan. This gonna be a really interesting matchup, and we're gonna take a look at the games as well as the next matches. English team for NCL Guildford against Hamburg Chess Club. Then we have Novibor against SF Daizizu. And we have also Oldar Yurdu against Mednik Vsadnik, and Klishyaches and Monte Carlo Chess Club are fighting to each other. Let's now take a look at the chess games. We're starting from Poland Hussards and Ladia Kazan, and this is the first game. First board, Jan Krzysztof Duda and Vladislav Artemiev. Seems like both players are going for sharp opening. And here we have knight g5, attacks on f7 immediately. And here black has no other choice but to push d5. And here we go. Black pushes d5 and d takes c5 right now. The knight is hanging. Knight will capture on e5, and this is still the line. This is still the line, and I'm sure this just players are thinking and remembering how to continue here. On the other hand, black can also capture this pawn or this bishop on c4, and that's really challenging. That's a really challenging position here after this. Artemiev really focused, and his clock says that it's 20 minutes before 5. So yeah, all the players are playing from around the world, and they also, of course, have the different time zones and different time situations on their home clock. All right, let's go to the next game. This is Garakamsky against Miranda Wojcik. And this is also just the beginning of the game. A very common structure here. Looks like just the game will start right now. Black has a chance to castle here, and then to connect the rooks on C and D file. And soon we will know the pawn situation, because right now it's those pawns are hanging, and one of the side will decide to trace the pawns, and we're gonna have different pawn structure. What's next? This is a position I would like to take a look. Svan Rasmus against David Havel. Black is now thinking, and black can't castle on the short side, because then knight will jump very unpleasantly, and there will be some check. So instead of castling, there is also a move like bishop a6, but this is something that black has to calculate well. White has to calculate well to capture here or not. For the moment, the pawn doesn't look like poison. Looks like possible to take it. And then finish the development. Of course, black has some opportunities to use the time advantage that it has in development. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. English Grandmaster on the screen. He is thinking how to get this king on the short side and how to castle. And instead of bishop e6, first he goes for e5. I like this move. He wants to push a4, kick the queen from b3, and then castle. Yeah, this is smarter. Okay, this is almost endgame. So we have to take a look. Opposite color of bishop and rooks on the board. One of the rook will be traded. And let's take a look at the pawn structure. In the long perspective, this pawn will be dropped. And there is a chance that king will just get into the black's pawn's camp. There is a possibility of this. So black is thinking. White's next move is very much clear, rook g1, and forcing black to trade the rook. And then I think if white trades another rook, that's going to be a very good position, still very good position for white. Rook g4, target c4 pawn. Well, bishop d5 looks like a move. Bishop d5 looks like a move. And now maybe rook g5. And after this, rook f4 or rook h4 to target this and make sure that rook is not hanging on g file. King d3 was played instead of bishop d5. And same thing might happen. Okay, I think this is even better because now next move will be bishop takes f7, and white will capture this pawn, and white will try to get on king d5 after the trading the rooks off the board. This is an interesting position. Here we have David Navarra and Andreas Heyman. And white decided not to castle at all, but instead to push g and h pawn and target the black king. Let's start from the beginning and let's see how this happened. For knights, here we have white develops the bishop on b2, just a fianchetto, and targets g7 pawn. And there we go. Then h4. Just ignores the rules of the basic rules of the chess to castle and to finish development. No, this is not it. We have different type of chess nowadays, and that's it. h4, h5, g4 is coming. Here we have g4. It's impossible to capture this pawn because of rook g1, and this pawn is dropping. So after queen e4, here we have another move. Black queen has to dance all over the board. Played so many moves. Played at least 5 moves so far. So the final is rook h3, and here what is he preparing? g5 is impossible because it's hanging. Maybe he just wants to play queen e2 or queen d2. Queen d2 probably, if need, queen can also go there. Maybe castle or king e2 and bring this rook on g1. The other rook from a1 also is needed to the king side attack, and g1 looks really good square for that. All right, we can move to the next game. Pia Kramnik is playing in the second round. I really wonder what happened in the first round. So she is playing against uh, Parham, the Iranian Grandmaster. Um, and she is ready to rook lift on the third rank, especially on g3 to target this g7 pawn, or h3 to target h7 pawn. I think white wish to have light square bishop as well on d3 or on c2 for this attack on the king side. But if black allows knight g5 and rook h3, that's more than enough for the attack. The time is more or less equal here. No big difference. Another really sharp position is on the last board of the match between Ecclesia Chess and Monte Carlo Chess Club. We have French defense structure, and white is trying to attack on the king side. That's what this pawn is calling for, and black is trying to make some dramas on the queen side. On the other hand, right now the pawn at a2 is hanging, and if you push pawn b3, then bishop goes back, and there will be some weaknesses on c3. The knight will be hanging, and that's what black asks for, to have more and more weaknesses in the position. In the first round, the ladies team, the winners of the Women Club Cup, lost a match. Lost a match on the last board, and the second board with, I don't know, I have not seen this. Maybe they played and I just did not receive. But on the first board and third board, the game ended in a draw. And let's now take a look what is happening here. This is third board, and we have already few pieces on the board. Bishop g5 targeting e3 pawn with a check. If white pushes this pawn, then bishop might come on e3 and on d4, or just on e3. d4 looks beautiful, but e3 is enough to control the king and create some danger. On the other hand, there's also a possibility to play rook a8 here and target a4 pawn. White to move. White is thinking how to play. Yeah, e4 looks a strange move, but otherwise this queen is also quite active. First trade on f8, and now we will see. Maybe check. Can I go for check? No, she goes for he goes for e4. Goes for e4. Let's see what Lizzie gonna play here. White is, yeah, I think white is going to play e5, but after rook f1 check, and when king leaves the f8 square, then e5. So there will be no pin on a1 square. And we can also should mention that if king leaves f8 square, then this white queen will enter into black's position and will create a lot of difficulties. Back in the game of Monika Sochko and Lokvan Valley, we have here the pawn already on h6. She pushed h6. Black replied with g6. Otherwise, white would just capture and weaken the king. So g6 and b3 pawn is on the board. Here expects bishop to go back on a6. It's just a move which calls the weakness on white's position. Another move is to play bishop d3 and just to use the fact this knight is hanging afterwards. But no, he goes for bishop a6, very calm move. He got what he wanted. He got this weakened square, and let's see now how he will defend the position on the king side. White played bishop g5. Bishop g5. White's idea is to trade the dark square bishops and then to try to get this knight on f6. The idea is to take here and then knight h2, knight g2, and get this knight here on f6. Shahriar Mamediyarov and Vladimir Fedosiev, we have this a very interesting position. I see two draws already ended. The game of Wojtaszek and Donchenko and Abbasov and Vitikov ended in a draw just after some minutes from the start. Let's take a look at this position. White has an extra pawn on d5. White has an extra pawn on d5, and b2 is also under the pressure. So if knight takes on c4, bishop takes. If rook takes, takes and takes. Still here, while black has an extra piece pawn on c4, you will push b5. And knight will come on d5, and slowly he will get better position. So what is the white's idea? He plays knight d3 instead to defend this pawn, and he says, okay, I have no pawn, but I still play. Okay, we can take a look at some more interesting positions. Yesterday in the first round we had so many short positions that I didn't know where to focus. Today it's more or less like calm games. The players are trying not to risk too much, just to play a normal chess. Now every point costs a lot for the team. And yeah, they're playing very smooth and careful chess. Ivan Cheparinov on the board. He has all the supplies, all the drinks next to him. All right, rook b3. Here in this position, we remember this with the opposite color of bishops and rooks on the board. Black managed somehow to try to get some counterplay, activate the rook, get the pawn on g5. Now the pawn is hanging. Probably he will push b6 or b5, both possible. And then after that, after b6 probably, then g4. G4, bishop comes on h4, g3 is on the board. Interesting position. Is it win? Is it win? Winning idea? Yeah, b5 I disliked, to be honest. Here I don't like b5 because it's too active. It causes some weaknesses, and this is the position what we have now. White is thinking to play bishop c4 or not to play bishop c4. I think it's possible to play. Why not? Just to grab the pawn. This might be a terrible blunder if he hasn't seen this. Because he could just play here. Ivan Cheparinov could simply play b6 here, some calm move, and then to push g4 and get this bishop at the better place. White is thinking here. Julian Kramer, he has really a huge edge on the clock. 9 minutes versus 2 minutes. I am just curious, why not bishop c4? What are they thinking for? What they are thinking for after this move. g4, just take with a rook, and then move this rook somewhere smarter. This is coming. And maybe that's what he's thinking. Maybe this is the position what he's thinking, if he wants to risk or not. White is still thinking. We have no moves. 8 minutes on the clock. He's been thinking for 2 minutes already. German FIDE master Julian Kramer has good chance here with white pieces to beat Ivan Cheparinov. Ah, all right. I see. I see. So Ivan Cheparinov now just exit from his game and checked out the results of his teammates. So that's the possibility. You can check. You can know the current position of your teammates. Okay, good to know that. While white is thinking, let's move forward and let's check out the next game. This is Vidit against Blue Baum. We have some tension in the center, especially on d5 pawn. White is on the move. White is considering here some possibilities. Is there a possibility to take, and take on c6? Maybe. So white took on d5. Maybe we're gonna see this position, and after bishop takes d5, is a check, rook has to take on d5, and then queen takes c6. I think there's a chance. That's the chance that white has to take. With 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, he is still thinking, and I was just observing the position of Ivan Cheparinov, and we still see that bishop is on d5, and there was not bishop c4 move, which I suggested. Instead, he goes for c4 pawn. Let's get back to this point where he goes for c4 with same ideas, but right now black can also get this pawn with en passant. And what is the secret? Maybe he wants to take the rook with the rook and get here. That's might be an idea to just to get more and more active. That's the idea, to get more and more active. With it on the screen, let's get back to this game. He didn't take on on d5. He did not take that. Seems like there was some different calculation which he considered not to be enough to win. So he pushes more. Rook c1 also creates the danger on c pawn. And now now if black pushes the c pawn, you can still take it with all the comfort. And now this pawn is pushed and even weakened. Maybe that's his idea. Ooh, okay, this is interesting. So here, black decided, I think black was just afraid of bishop d5 here. After rook c1, black decided to give an exchange here and weaken the king. And he plays now queen h5, the pawn on f3 is hanging. Rook g6 might come, knight e5 might come, so we should be really careful here. King f1, he wants to hide the king on e2. But queen takes the pawn and queen f4. They play very fast here, even they had not plenty of time, some minutes on the clock. They just see only moves and they're just playing quite fast without deep calculation. Now this rook has to find the best square. It can be on rook f6, target the queen, or rook g6. Just getting here on g1 square. Black still thinking. Let's get back to the game of Monika Sochko and Lokvan Valley. Here we have still a lot of pieces on the board, and white managed to get now pawn on f6. In long perspective, these pawns are creating mating threats in the rook endgame. But now the question is how white can defend the h6 pawn. The h6 pawn is hanging. One idea is to take and then to play on rook h1, but that looks pretty passive. That's pretty passive, and some crazy moves like rook f3 might work. Or if you just want to play more calm game, you just can play rook d3 here. But instead of these passive moves here, Monika goes for g4. She is ready to give up, and you know, if you take this, you will be sorry after rook h1 because you're gonna lose this knight, right? That's the trap. That's the trap that Van Wellington wants to get in. Meanwhile, Poland Hazards won the game on the last board, and they are the leaders in the match against Ladia Kazan. It is so hard to say who is the leader of the tournament because we see all these super grandmasters in all the teams. So we're gonna know the leaders after, I think, after today. And for tomorrow, for the final stage of the finals, that's going to be more challenging day for us and also for players. So black here decided to trade the rooks and to get this knight back on d6. That allows white knight to get on e5. and then slowly get back to the queen side, get the open c file. If needed to push g5 as well. Um, I think the g4 move is the one that black missed. Um, Bassam Amin and Elizabeth Paz, they are playing the endgame here. We don't have much changes. There are some changes, but not dramatical changes. We might expect here draw as well, but white is indeed the one who is trying to win because of the pawn structure and the same color of the bishop and all these open files and diagonals. And black has to always watch out for the move like a5 breakthrough. Okay, back to the game of Monika Sochko and Lokwan Valley. Here Monika managed to get the pawn on g5. That's so strong setup. That's so strong setup. In the rook endgame, this pawn structure will win the game. The game Andrei Esipienko and Vasil Turabaev is now in progress and very important for both teams, Oldar Yurdu and Mednik Sadnik, because this is one of the important games as the two already ended in a draw, and here white has winning position, very strong pass pawns, and hard to stop this. Hard to stop this. The bishop cannot help. It's now night time to sacrifice maybe, but no way. These bishops will not allow none of the black pieces to get closer to a pawn. So we might have here resignation soon, and here we have resignation. Let's take a look at the first board of this match now. This is really important. This is Fedosiev and Shahriar Mamedyarov. Oh, that's ended. That's ended. That's why I couldn't find. In that game, Fedosiev managed to win the game, and Mednik Sadnik won the match against Oldar Yurdu with 3-2-1. That was a tough one. And also a really interesting strategy that Mednik Sadnik had in this match is to put 27 players on the last two boards and to put 26 players on the first two boards. That's really interesting strategy. I saw Monika walked away. The game ended in a draw, and Barvali is always staying and always analyzing and checking out. He's not moving from the board after the end of the game. Yeah, all the players have its own characters and their habits. All right, few games left. And hard for me to believe that we have only one group, not 9. We started with 9 groups, and now we have only one group in finals. We started with 91 teams, 500 plus just players, and now we have the finals. Unfortunately, we had some cases when we saw that the leader team by the rating Baden-Baden was eliminated in the playoffs. That's what happened. That's what happened. The game ended also in a draw here. Black managed to get into white's position, white's camp, and started to check. Let me get to some games which are still in progress. This is Vidit and Matthias Brubaum. We have Rook Endgame, where black has a pass pawn on a file, and white is trying to catch this pawn with a king. Usually Rook is in charge of this, but in this case, king will stop the a pawn, and Rook will try to collect other pawns, or just to make sure that these 3 pawns are traded to 2 pawns, and that's going to be draw. That's gonna be draw. So this is the final game of Novibor and SF. This is a Rook game, and Novibor is leading. So here draw is very much okay, and Vidit and Brubam ended this game in a draw. The last game in the match for NCL Guildford and Hamburg Chess Club. Hamburg Chess Club is 1 point ahead, and this game is very important for both teams to for the result. Black has 2 extra pawns, and winning position. Only miracle can save the English team for second lose in a row. And that miracle might be some mouse sleep. Yeah, draw is still winning for Hamburg Club here. I see one more game in progress, and this is Van Forest and Alexandra Gorechkina. Seconds are on the board, and we have the pass pawn on d file, which is blocked by the queen, and Rook tries to be active and tries to trade more pieces. So in that case, white king will be a bit weak, and black will try to check as much as possible. For example, now if black plays queen here or rook here, that will create some check. Some threats. Alexander Garechkina, Grandmaster from Russia, is on the screen. Van Forest, Jordan. This game might end in a draw as well. And the queen's endgame here, white is trying to get this king as far as possible, so there will be no queen trades, and white will give some checks, but I don't see here any check, and b3 is coming. Can I play b3 here, and after this queen comes here? As I know, the best place for the king is here to avoid the check and trade. b3 is on the board, and now black is just chasing the king. Draw is enough for the victory for Hamburg Club, and I think the player from black pieces might end the game with the perpetual checks. Queen Jones on the screen, the winner of the European Bliss Championship 2020. Oh, for a moment I thought that he was playing in the in the playing hall with other players, his team members, but no, that's another mirror. That's another mirror. The game between Alexandra Gorechkina and Van Forest ended in a draw. Clichy just won the match with a small difference, only 1 point, with one point. Girls are doing good. Girls are doing very good. Some more checks. Of course, here the player with black pieces wants to win the game. Why not? But draw is enough for the victory of the team. This is a grandmaster from German, Louis Angels. Looks not very happy. Not very happy. Perhaps he had winning position earlier. After this match, after the final game, we will take a look at the standings, at the situation in the round 2, at the results. But now let's be focused on this game. Seconds here for Gwyn Jones. He has no more check. He was thinking where to play the queen, and now it's Black's turn to find the best square for the queen, best position for the queen, to cover the king and then push the pawn. Queen comes on g3 check, king h8, and queen comes back on c3. We had this position earlier, so that's 2 times repetition, and now it's time to move the king. King comes on c1, and let's check. Queen e3, queen e1 is a check, but also queen e1 is a check. King might come on d2. Now queen d4 check, and queen f2 check then after queen d3. Oh, wait. After queen a1, there's king c2 and no more checks. And then b2. So here, white, after king d1, white just played king h8, waiting move. And now again, checks are on the board. The position is draw, it's theoretical draw, but in practice it's hard to make because there are many possible ways to check, and you have to give the check from the proper way, or you have to find some triangles where you can just check and your opponent cannot really hide. "20 seconds for Gwyn Jones on the clock. Queen d4 would be a huge mistake. After queen c3, white was losing. So king g8 was played and queen g2 and king b1. There's one more check. Match points might be also necessary in the end of the tournament. Game points. For the moment, German Hamburg team is winning the match, but seems like the player from Germany, Grandmaster, wants to also win the game, try his best, and you never know when you will need this game point in the tie breaks. (126 moves so far. This is the longest game of the event. There is a special prize for the best game of the tournament, and that will be awarded by 200 euros. That's the name under great chess player Vasil Smyslov, and the team is working. The team of chess trainers and chess players are working to find the best game and the brilliant game of the event. If you have some suggestion, you can also contact us and suggest your favorite game of the tournament. So that was the end. That was the end. Really interesting. The game ended in a draw, which is quite logical result in that queen endgame. Let's now take a look at the results of this round, and we can get prepared for the next round. All right. So here we have Poland Hussars and Lade Kazan. They tied the match with 2-2. Hamburg team just won against Forensial English Club, and then we have Novibor also won the match, as well as Mednik Sadnik and Clichy at chess. That's it. We're getting ready for third round is the players. Today we're gonna have 2 more rounds, and as well we're gonna have special guests, so please don't go anywhere. We will come back soon. We're back. This is European Club Cup 2021. I am Women Grandmaster Keti Tazalashvili, and this is round 3. Games already started, so let's go directly to the games. And I would like to show you the first game. This is Alexandra Gorechkina against Jan Christoph Duda. The match between Monte Carlo Chess Club and Poland Hazards. Here we have very quick development. We can actually start from the first move, d4, knight f6, and after c4, black goes here with e6, knight f3, and d5. And here black has some setups, and Jan Christoph Duda goes really sharp variation and put up some tension in the center with c5 pawn, white straights pawns, and also puts e4 pawn. And she gets a quick development in this position. It is white to move. Many pieces are hanging on the board. What is the possible way to play here? If bishop takes on d7, it's possible to take with a queen. Queen takes, knight takes, and knight g5. This is possible continuation. Although white should be really careful after this move and h6. The pawn will be still alive. So here white is thinking, Alexandra Gorechkina is thinking how to proceed the position. That should be preparation, but according to the clock, what I see right now, Duda has 15 minutes. And Alexandra spent some time to get in here. Yeah, to be strong in the openings and to remember all the openings is the key factor in bullet and blitz. Because you don't have much time to remember all the lines, and you just have to play really fast and also safer. White is thinking here. Alexandra Gorechkina plays on the first board among very strong grandmasters, and so far she has 2 draws. Yeah, that's amazing result. That's amazing result. We can move to the next boards. We'll quickly take a look if we have some dramatic position already. It's anywhere. I see h pawn here forward. I always like to take a look at the pawns like this. So what is really happening here? White tries to get some space on the king side. Looks like Caro-Kann defense type of position. White's idea is to play g4, g5 at some point to open up the king's position. There are not many pieces still on the board, but white still has rooks, which might be really useful if white managed to open the g file. The next game is also very interesting. Let's take a look at this. Black has a pair of bishop on the board, although there is still not full development, and Rooks has no connection yet. White to move. White is thinking how to proceed the position. What can be the move? Black wants to play a4 and kick knight somewhere back on c1 and to have passive position. On the other hand, white can stop this pawn with a4 here. White can do this. And white can also ignore that and just push a4. After this, just come back here on c1 and then to push c5 and create a pass pawn here. Really strong pass pawn supported by rook, d1 and bishop on g2. We will see what white will decide here in this position. Looks double-edged game indeed. David Navarra. David Navarra. It's never boring to see his game. Let's start from the beginning. C4. He plays C4 in this tournament in all the games. So we have this setup again here, and queen goes quickly out of the starting position. Queen b3 targets the knight. Knight b4, and now queen comes on d5 because this pawn was hanging, and there are several ways to defend the queen, the pawn, but then that might be dangerous because of some unpleasant knight g5, knight e5, or even queen c3 moves. Out of this, I like this queen c3 more because that calls move like f6, and that's gonna weaken light squares, and the castle will be really hard here. David Navarra, Czech chess player on the board. So the player with black pieces here decided to play queen d5, trade queens, and the question is, can I take and then take here on c5? That's an extra pawn, but for something. Knight comes on c2, next move. Knight d4 will be met by e5, knight is hanging, another knight is hanging, and then knight c2 is hanging. So knight d4 is not saving that at all. What can white play? Is a check. And after this, just a castle. Just a castle. Is that a possibility here? Knight c2, rook here, and bishop here on f5. That's a lot of calculations, and very likely we're gonna see this. Very likely we're gonna see this. I've interviewed David Navarra, and what he does usually in his games is he's remembering the games which he analyzed in this in the position that he's having, and he's trying to remember what was the best one in that game. And I was really impressed. I was really impressed how much information he has about the openings and about chess. So we have bishop b5 here. This is exactly what we predicted. Now black can play knight c6. Black can play knight d7 as well. Those moves are possible. Knight c6 looks a little bit more legit to me. And then after castle, white will have an extra pawn, and slowly this will be converted in bigger advantage, and then maybe even in a point. I would not be surprised if so. What is happening here? Timofeyev against Quinn Jones. British team lost 2 games in a row. That's quite heartbreaking for them, I guess, as they are one of the favorites of the event and are 4th rated team in the standings. Who actually had really good tournament. Okay, let's start from the beginning. David Navarra with his blue huge cup on the screen. We have again, and of course well dressed with his white t-shirt. So 1d4, knight f6, c4, and here we have King's Indian, where white goes with g3 set up. And after c5, here white decided to trade the pawns. And took on c5. There we go. Oh, all right, that's a sacrifice. That is a sacrifice. Bishop sacrifice for 2 pawns on the king side and for potential king side attack. After bishop f4, here black is thinking the move which comes to my mind is bishop e5 or bishop h6 even. Let me think a bit. Bishop e5. Yeah, this looks really nice, but and to pin But after e3, yeah, there might be something. There might be something. It needs deeper calculation, but bishop e5 looks a bit easier. And if bishop takes, knight takes, checkmate is on the board, knight f3 is not saving because black will capture and there is a still checkmate here. So what is happening here? How to defend? There is a move like rook e1 to free the place for the king here. And after check, king comes on f1. And I would play here. I would play queen f4, targeting this. And when white plays something like knight d4, just win the queen with knight d3 check. This looks beautiful. This looks beautiful, but also on the other hand, it's not only way here that white can play. White also can play knight on f3. I'm very deep in the analysis, but the players are on the way to get in here probably because bishop is on e5. And it looks really interesting, this position. Okay, after bishop e5 here, instead of taking on e5, which I suggested, white goes here for queen a4, and then queen will replace this bishop on f4 in charge of the defense. Okay, so interesting position. There are some mating threats and ideas. One which comes to my mind is rook d8, which targets this knight here. Next move will be rook takes d2, which is winning the game. If white decides to play rook f1, then might be rook d4, and white is losing the bishop. I'm making everything in order to make it possible for black to win this game. My suggestion here is rook d8 with idea to take here or to play rook d4. Looks really interesting position. Green Jones, he's thinking, he had a long game, he finished in the end, and he had some minutes, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes for the rest, not more than that. And now he is fully focused in this game, and he's probably finding some possible ways how to win. The next move should be really fast and really aggressive. Otherwise, if white defends all the weaknesses on the position, then it's still a piece. Okay. Keeping the eye on this game, rook d8 is on the board. We might see defense, we might see resignations soon. It's worth to stay here in this game. If you would like to check out your favorite players' games, you can just visit Chess24 and find all the games at one place. White to move. We know the threats, we know the targets, and we don't know how to defend all of them. Maybe knight f3 is the move. Maybe that's the move that white can play. Yes, that looks like a move. That looks like a move we might have on the board. Still, we have this position. White has 9 minutes on the clock. Black has 8 minutes, more or less similar time situation. Is knight on f3? Yeah, white plays knight f3 here, and I don't see any easy move here. Meanwhile, we can actually move to the next board and check out the game of Ivan Cheparinov and Azat Sherafiev. One game already finished. That's Meyer and Abasov. Another quick draw. And in this position, we have very interesting situation when black has double pawns and white is just ready to rook lift on the g3 and create some danger. Now bishop is hanging on b7. Rook comes to defense this bishop, and we might see some knight jumps right now. Knight jumps to open the road for the rook. And back in the game of Timofeyev and Gwen Jones, here we have rook d4. Wow, that's amazing. Rook d4 forces white to capture this rook, and now bishop takes on f4. Too many pieces are targeting h2 pawn and willing to checkmate the king. Can white defend these threats? Rook plays d1, probably next move. And what's next? Check, take, check, and bishop e3. Knight e4. And knight f3. And after b5, just to play queen here. Knight e4. Oh my god, so sharp position. We're just about to get there because white played rook d1. Just get this this square for the king, otherwise it would be a checkmate. And what's gonna happen here? What's gonna happen here? That's interesting. Maybe knight e3. Maybe knight e3 with either to checkmate. So if you capture, I capture, and king comes here, and now black can just take this knight, and black is just down just a rook, not more, but king is exposed. Yeah, really interesting position. We're keeping this game on the board. Russian Grandmaster Timofeyev with 2500, almost 2600, with white pieces here against English Grandmaster Gwen Jones. Really sharp position, nice position. I would consider this game one of the candidates of brilliancy game. Other games are also very very interesting. I just don't want to lose this moment here. We might see something more. So we're just keeping here, and let me suggest some more moves. Now this is the weakness, and black can start to play on this pawn. 5 minutes on the clock for black. He has to find here the winning plan. Check, takes, takes. There's a checkmate. Aha, okay. Okay, maybe. No. Takes, takes, takes. Knight comes on f3. Yeah, Queen Jones cannot do what we're doing right now. He cannot move the pieces and take it back if he doesn't like the line, so he has to make the decision without coming back. And after Queen G3, Knight comes on E4, and so far that's safe. Interesting position. Seems like this knight is. Can I push maybe b5 to kick the queen from the defense position, and now to play this to take here, check. Yes, there's a checkmate here. There's no defense for this. So once again, here, if black goes for b5 and queen takes b5, check, takes, queen is hanging. So Rook has to take it, and knight comes here. King cannot really run because there's some check, bishop is hanging, pawn has to take, and knight taken. That's no defense. If knight captures b5 pawn, in that case, check, knight e3, same, absolutely same. This is the key point here. So knight and queen cannot take. What happens if third knight, a third piece takes this pawn here? We needed this knight because in the end it was knight e4, right? So let's go to the same variation, and after this, knight f3, defense this, but after queen g3 there's no defense for this. Is this winning position? I think it's winning position. b5. We don't have b5 on the board. He plays knight e3. Maybe he wants the same, but knight e3. I capture. And then capture probably here. And when rook comes here, that looks similar, but not quite. After this check, there is this one. Check this here. Okay. I'm afraid 93 is not that accurate. White is still thinking. Time situation, black is down to 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Knight a3. I think the most practical chance here is to capture this knight with a rook. Interesting. Yeah, there's no other choice. There's no other choice rather than take. Otherwise, queen comes on h2 check, and queen takes. Not takes. It's a checkmate. It's a checkmate. So how to defend 93 is the move he's considering. I say. Right. So complicated. Still this position. White is thinking. He has time. He has 5 minutes. And here we have f takes c. Check and king f1. That would be really, really heartbreaking to not to win this game. It was brilliant sacrifice on g4, and then the idea rook d8, rook d4 was really nice. Let's see, let's see. The other game in the same match is Luke McShane and Gada Kamsky. The bishop is on attack. Queen f8 was played. And if white captures the pawn, bishop and then pawn, that's going to be equal position. But worth to mention that white stands really active. We are just very likely to get there. The bishop is off the board, and after queen takes, maybe there is a better move like queen e7. That's better move indeed. And after queen e8, to play knight g5 with a check. That's correct. That's correct. And after this, yeah, not much. Not much, really. Back in the game of Timofeyev and Gwen Johns, here we have knight d4 captured. Oh!
Hi, Katie.
What a surprise! What a surprise!
I entered your room without a notice.
Hi, hello. Please welcome our special guest, woman grandmaster Dana Resignations, a FIDE managing director and ECU vice president. Hello, Dana. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
What a surprise!
I had the chance to be here with you because our team that I was representing, the Swedish Vasa, did not qualify for the further steps. But I spent my holidays once again playing some chess.
Yeah, I saw your game. I saw your game first day, and we really supported you. But then I didn't see you more in the playoffs, and I thought that's
good for me. Good for me and you that we still have a team to keep our fingers crossed. You have to be neutral, but I can say that I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Monte Carlo because only ladies play there. Yes, so what can
yes. Yes, I think I also show my sympathy to this team during my comments, and I spend lots of time to check out their games, and they're doing fantastic. They're doing fantastic. Alexandra Goreshkina plays on the first board against super grandmasters, and she's holding. She made 2 draws so far, and yes. Are you observing the tournament?
I am, of course, observing the tournament as much as I can because it's still a working week. But I'm especially glad that so far so good. There have been no cheating cases, and the games are really of a high quality. And I'm looking forward for the best to win. This is a challenging time. I mean, even though it is a lot of excitement for the viewers, for the fans, it is also a challenging time for the fair play issues, and that's why it's even more important that ECU has the new initiative coming up with a hybrid tournament. I just wanted to remind not only you but to all the federations actually taking this opportunity to address them and to encourage them to prepare already now for the hybrid qualifications for the World Cup. It's already the end of May, 22nd May, that the European Chess Union is organizing the qualification hybrid tournaments. The best players, 10 best players according to the rating, would qualify for the World Cup, but 36 places still to be nominated, which means that all the players with the rating 2500 and above would be allowed to play, plus 8 best ones if the national qualifications would be organized, or 5 without. But that would require still a lot of preparation work from the federations with neutral arbiters, with the fair play measures, with appropriate buildings and premises, knowing that still the COVID restrictions are strict in the European countries. That's going to be quite a challenge. But we keep our fingers crossed that we manage to organize this tournament. That would be, I guess, a very nice trendsetter for for the new era, I guess.
Yeah. May I ask you what will be, how this tournament, hybrid tournament, will look for the chess player? Where they will be, how they will be playing, and how this whole process will be observed?
So the name speaks itself. Online, it is when we are sitting in our, houses or wherever we are, and the platform we play, it's only online, and arbiters and observation is managed from the distance, only online. Hybrid, it's a combination of two. So we are playing in distance, but the players are physically located in the premises with the arbiter presenting. So there's additional human observation of the process. So that gives us a better credibility that no cheating would be there in place.
Yes, that's quite challenging.
Yes, that is challenging, but without any possibility, without real possibility to travel currently, that was probably the only one how we could manage the qualification. You know that the initial idea was to organize the European Chess Championship in Iceland. That was supposed to be the qualification, but due to the COVID restrictions, Iceland postponed the European Chess Championship, and that's why we had to look for the plan B. And also for the financing, this is partly financed also by FIDE, Development Fund. 35,000 were allocated not only to the European continent, but also to the other continents, because we very well understand that under these circumstances, it's difficult to find the sponsorship in such a short notice for the qualification tournaments. And a lot of work has been done by Theodoros, General Secretary of the ECU, and by the whole team to scrutinize the regulations so that to find the best way how to optimize the results so that really the strongest players would get qualified, while giving the chance, the equal chance for everyone.
Yeah, I've seen lots of talks in social media about this event, and some players are worrying about still there will be some issues about fair play, fair plays. Could we say that this system will minimize the accidents, possible accidents?
It would try, of course. Well, as I said, besides all the existing measures, online anti-cheating measures, statistical evidence, video, there would be the physical arbiters present, and the general requirement would be that those would be the neutral ones invited from other country, as long as it's possible. That would give additional security. Nevertheless, the big two questions were whether to apply titles and whether to calculate the ELO rating within these tournaments. And putting all the pluses and minuses into the basket, we finally took the decision that no ELO calculations would be made and no titles applied. So to decrease the sentiment for cheating, and so that not to undermine the existing ELO system that the professionals were so much worried about. Yes, that they have been working so much and so long and so heavily to increase the ratings, and then with potential cheating, those could be undermined. So that is why also in order to decrease the potential cheating cases, worked on the and reconsidered the playing system. So the final proposal was to remain with the knockout system, with the last top teams playing the round tournament for the prizes. Yes, but basically for the qualifications it would be the knockout system, so that to reduce the cases when somebody is already playing without any decisive situation, and could be tended to not put maximum effort in the game, I would say so.
Yeah. Wow, really challenging time for chess, right? Yes, indeed.
Yes,
indeed.
it's a challenging time, but I hope that if the federations would also supportive and helping us to deal with this new situation, this hybrid mechanism would still, I believe, be a very good chance to give the players an opportunity to play, still to qualify, for the best ones also to earn some money, which is also very important in these times, and allow us also to still keep the fair play strong, which is very important, not to discredit our sports in these times.
Yes, yes, indeed. And is there any tournament organized by FIDE, over the board tournament, coming up next? Because we all want to see some tournaments again played on wooden boards.
Yes, you know that FIDE has launched the new program supporting the open tournaments. More than 100,000 euros have been distributed for different initiatives all over Europe and all over the world. So I hope that these two that have got the support also will take place regardless of all the restrictions. That would be a chance for the players to take part, which is very important for the professional ones, those who depend purely on the practical play. But for all the fans, of course, I guess the closest bit it is the qualification match that is going to take place soon, already in the end of April in Yekaterinburg. So another big event to be followed.
Yes, yes, indeed, indeed. And we're gonna follow that. We want to see chess, and we want to get back to the chess. Everyone, willing that. But we have here amazing tournament. I've seen so many amazing games, and we have also super grandmasters. Would you like to take a look at some of the games, maybe?
Let's do that. Yes.
Yes, I was observing this game earlier. Oh, we had so nice sacrifices here. But this is the end of the game already, and Black is here trying um, to maybe make a draw. But that's going to be really changing, right? Challenging. Oh, this is the final game, I guess. Let me check for a moment. Yeah.
Artyom Timofeyev against John Gavin.
Yes.
few seconds left on the clock. I mean, yes, the main task of the whites is, of course, it is to get to force the black king out of the strategically important square e3, yes, and then somehow trick the black one and try to capture the on e4.
So here we have a check.
And
King comes back on
king
d2.
yes, king f2 would not help too much because of the rook retreating along the G line and then checking and forcing you back. Yes, the white king.
While we have this game still in progress, let's take a look at the short video of the finalists and see those 10 teams and the participants. And we will come back, and I hope this game will be still in progress and we can take a look and analyze it. Well, we saw
Okay.
the finalists, final teams,
What
and the
an amazing
players.
movie. What an amazing movie, Katie. I had the feeling that I had not traveled 80 days around the globe, but 80 seconds around the globe, yes. Getting to acquainted to the locations, yes.
Yes, I have seen this video for so many times today, and every time it's on, I'm still watching it. And yeah, I also like it very much. So we have this game still in progress. So hard to see that Black is losing this game because we had really brilliant sacrifices here. And I was even thinking maybe I would suggest Adrian this game as a brilliant game and to win the brilliancy prize, but the things went wrong here for Black somehow.
I didn't follow the beginning. So what you are saying it is that that Black was playing
Yeah,
strongly. Yes?
I can show this. I don't have an access of the engine. I'm not sure how what was the more correct way and accurate way, but let me show you quickly from this moment when Black sacrificed here the piece for 2 pawns. That's the moment the game ended already. So there was bishop g4, this typical sacrifice. Then knight takes on g4, bishop f4, and bishop e5. And after queen a4, we had rook d2, targeting the knight on d2. And after knight
Or the
f3,
rook on d4, yes.
rook d4, we had
Yes,
also this everything on time. And after knight takes d4, bishop takes f4, now checkmate is hanging. So rook goes on d1. And that's the moment when Gwen Jones was thinking the most. He took 5 minutes and dropped the time to 1 minute. And he played 95, but the b5 looked really tempting here to just get rid of one of these
what happens if I
knights.
take? Yes.
With queen or
With a
with
c? No, with a knight from
with a
c3 to
knight?
b5.
It was 93 or queen h2 first, and 93 now. And in these variations, knight there is a checkmate on g1, and if knight comes back on f3, then queen comes on g3, and the knight is too far
My
to
knight
jump on
is too
e4.
far.
So there was a
Oh.
checkmate.
So
Another
he saw he saw the motif, but
Yeah,
the precision was lacking.
yeah. If this knight takes in the same variations, then there will be an issue of g1 square. So the knight cannot jump to squares to get on 3. And if queen takes on b5, we had the same motifs. We had the same motifs with knight d4. Knight d4, knight d3, and now after bishop e3, there is a checkmate here. I hope it's correct variation, because we are not using engine, but seems like it was the one, because after knight d3, there are knights on the board, and these knights are controlling the square. Look at this. I didn't see this, Dana. I didn't see this queen sacrifice here. This looks, wow, this looks brilliant. Black went for repetition, and then he wanted to win the game. And wow, actually we had more dramas than I expected here.
What a sharp game! Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
queen for rook and 2 pieces, and seems like white was better here, and slowly get these knights. All right, he was winning g5 pawn, and now this looks like classical chess. This doesn't look like rapid chess. All right, here we have this unpleasant. Wow, yeah, yeah, brilliant,
And then it
brilliant
was
game.
just a realist.
Yeah,
No, it's a pity that
yes.
Black could not really finish the game with a beauty map.
Yes, yes, and on the other hand, after some boost, now white started to play really good after this sacrifice. Yes, indeed, the nice game. So that was the end of the round 3. We have one more round to go, and thank you so much, Dana, for joining. What a lovely surprise, and thank you also for all the information that you gave
Thank
to us.
you for this opportunity to approach the federations and also have a look at this beautiful game. And it was such a pleasure to see you once again. So good luck
Yes,
for
yes.
the last rounds, and keeping the fingers crossed for the strongest teams to win.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Dana, for joining
Bye.
us. We will come back in after a short break, just before the 4th round today.
For the first time in Europe,
First European Chess Award ceremony.
The European Golden Pawn. Most of the legends are here with us today.
Chess legends, lovers, supporters.
This big celebration of legends. Thank you for all.
It's a big honor to stay here.
There's no limits when you begin to read and when you begin to play chess.
Chess for me is more than a sport.
Thank you very much for this award.
We are a family.
Chess has a great future.
It's my exceptional honor and privilege to be here with you.
The world needs chess. Love and music has the ability as chess to make people happy.
Chess needs this kind of event. It's a very beautiful place.
It is fantastic. I was very happy that we make these selections.
It's a great honor for me to be here with my colleagues from high group.
21 Salida Pasta.
It's an honor to be awarded with this prestigious prize.
It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be a part of this fantastic event.
It is something that belongs to many of my loved ones as well. Best wishes to all you.
High life with this.
I would like to thank all of you because your attendance is very important.
It's a game that is celebrated at its highest level, and having it here in Monaco, it's a big opportunity to send this message that to celebrate chess as the mainstream sport and a cultural touchstone.
Chess make you smarter.
We're back. This is the final game of the finals today, and then we're going to have the rest of the games tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Central European Time. But before that, we have to take a look at very, very good news for chess players and for chess amateurs. Let's take a look at the screen. In the next week, in the next month, from 10 to 28 April, European Chess Union organized the tournament European Amateur Online Chess Championships in 4 groups. If you are a player rated 1,000 or 1,000 to 400, you can play in A group. If you're a player from 1,400 to 1,700, you can join and play in Group B. If you're a player from 1,700 to 2,000, you can join C group. And we also have the final group and the strongest group, D, and this is the players from 2,000 to 2,300. They can also join. The registration is still open. You can just check out the European Chess Union website or all social medias and get more information, or contact us. We'll get you more information. The tournament will be 8 round Swiss qualifications followed by 9 rounds finals. And there will be top 250 players. The time control will be 10 plus 2 seconds increment. That's also rapid tournament, and the registration is open. But you have to hurry up. You have to hurry up because it starts from 10th April. That's the case. I would like to have lower rating to join join the tournament. Every day the round will start at 4 a.m. Central European Time. So that's a good chance for you if you fit at any group or any rating group of this that you can see now on the board. That's the time to register. All right, let's get back to our tournament, which is running right now. This is European Club Cup 2021. This is online, but last time we had this over-the-board event. It was amazing one, but that's our reality right now, and we have to be focused now on the chess. Let's first take a look at the standings after round 3. Here we have leader Cliché Chess, the French team, is in leading position. They won the matches and got 6 points. That follows by 2 German teams, SV Daizazu and Hamburg Chess Club. Then we have Lady Kazan, Russian team, Novibor Czech team, another Russian team, Medny Sadnik, and then we have Poland Hussards. English team we have at the position 8 and Older Urdu at the position 9, and then we have Monte Carlo Chess Club at the 10th position. So this is the situation for now. The winner team gets 2 points. In case if the teams tie the games, then they will get 1 point, and in case of losses, the teams get a 0 point. So we have 4 rounds already started. I see some of the moves, and it's time now to take a look at the games. And here we have the first game. This is Jan Christoph Duda against Mickey Adams. That's going to be in a second on the clock, on the board. So here we have Jan Christoph Duda with white pieces. And also a quite active position here, grabs some space advantage on the queen side. The position might be closed after b5, and black can also try to play a4. But in this case, white still can push on the king side, open up the center, and start to attack the king side of black. That's why black wants to find some more counterplay. It's always good to have some chances to find when your opponent is better in the position, and that's what Adams trying now to open up a file, and if he needs, he will access this rook in white's side of the board and will create some problems. Black's weakness we might consider c6 pawn, that one, and also a little bit passive passive pieces. Of course, that we should not call this as a cause of bad position. It looks equal position, a little bit better for white. All right. Let me quickly see if we have some crazy positions in any game, or if we have already some h4 pawns and h5. If we don't have anything like this, I will just continue and to follow all of the games. I don't see any dramas here. Let's get to the next board of this match. This is Poland team versus English team. So this is the second board. Here we have Gwen Jones, who had unfortunate game, previous one, unfortunate result. The game was beautiful and still worth to study on it. Plays against Bartosz Soczko, who is to move right now. We have hanging pawns on the board, and in the case of hanging pawns, it's very important to keep as much pieces as possible here for black. And for white, they can trade some pieces and then weaken these pawns in this center. So we have two players very concentrated right now for their games. Let's go to the next game, and this is Pavel Tetzlav against Ivan Cheparinov. Pavel Tetzlav is international master, 2500 young chess player from Poland. This pawn looks amazing, and the final move which white just made, this f4 pawn, this looks really beautiful. Chain on the king side. Let me update this. How the pawn got on d6? That's a question that I ask myself, and I don't know the answer. So let's get there quickly. 1d4, e6, and here we have this position, which transpose to very interesting setup. The e4 pawn was not hanging. If knight takes e4, then g7 pawn was hanging. So they played this. All right. But was that necessary to play knight b6 here? Black could take it, right? Black could take it. And to play with isolated pawn, but he decided that he wants to go for, I think that's his home preparation. I think that's the home preparation of black here, knight b6, and get this knight in better position. And now f6. All right, attacking the center, the pawn is not defended. Open up the f-file, and queen will also jump on h4 if needed with a check. This looks like a home preparation to me. Bishop c4 is on the board. Pavel Tetzlav is really the player who plays really fast. This is a game that we have to keep the eye on. Another interesting game is Radoslav Wojtaszek and Artem Timofeyev. Looks really dynamic position. Let's go from the beginning. Okay, Ivan Cheparinov is drinking too much liquids. He's drinking too much. That's probably he needs some energy. So let's see h3. We have double pawns on the f-file, and now we have knight d3. Wow, This is really interesting. Oh, hi. Hi, Adrian. Hi. Good to see you.
Hi. Yes. Do you hear me well?
I can't hear you at all, but wait, I will hear you. Okay, now I can
Yeah.
hear you. So how are
Yeah.
you, Adrian?
Oh, it's nice. It's nice to be back. Very interesting games today.
Yes,
Terribly
great.
interesting. Guys are starting to play very interesting chess, and we have a lot of propositions for the best game. So we hope we will have more. We will have very difficult task because really
Yeah.
the level of play is extremely high. I like it very much.
Yeah, I was just about to suggest one more game. It was brilliant game by Gwyn Jones, but it went the wrong way and it ended up that he lost it, but it was really brilliant game. Yeah, I wanted to suggest that move.
Yeah, here is very interesting position, which is Wojtaszek is playing with white. Black is playing very special line, which became popular against e4 in Queen's Gambit accepted, and positions are very unusual,
Yeah.
very unusual. So Black can play here, play c4 threat, b5, very unclear situation in the center. And it seems if white has nothing decisive, okay, white can play always queen d1, It can
Yeah.
be later after c4. So white has
That's
to see what's going on.
what he played.
Yeah, immediately. I would consider first take on e6 and queen d1, but okay. Now g6, he wants to take on g6 and queen g4, to jump into attack, yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Just
he
ignoring
plays
this pawn.
yes, rook g8, then something like knight e4, or maybe long castle, very unclear position. But black has some material, one pawn up, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, problem with developments still. Maybe queen c6, long castle, queen d7. It will be very tense game. So it's what is very nice to see tense games. Of course, players would say that we would have better quality if they would play on on
Over the
normal
board.
time control. Yeah, over the board. But okay, rapid is rapid. Let's say not. I can't say not very precise. Yes, a bit more intuitive element in the game. Yes, a bit less precise calculation. Let's go to
Yes,
some
indeed.
other.
There's one interesting game, Ivan Cheparinov and Pavel Teslov. It was so interesting, and I wanted to ask you, what was that? So here we have this sort of setup, and here f3 d5.
Yes, it's direct counter strike in the center. Yes,
And
he
after
gave up
taking on
bishop.
d5, instead of taking back on d5, here black plays
Then I
knight
think white would
b6.
play f4, bishop e2. White would develop very fast. 4, bishop e3, bishop e2. Rook. He decided to play for development, but and to start to destroy this center. Yes.
With
Knight
f6.
c6, c4, f6. Yes. Bishop c4, knight b6, and take. Yeah, and castle.
So takes on f4, takes.
Yeah.
And we have this position right now.
So okay, it seems that he can take on f8 two times and to play bishop d2, but I'm not sure that this pawn d6 can survive. Yes, take rook takes or rook take. Oh yes, bishop d2, rook d8. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the
With
issue
some
for this
jumps, with knight. Yes, knight f6. Maybe rook d1, bishop c8. His idea is yes. You see, endgame is not big deal for white. White better with such pawn is better for some other purposes in middle game because it is dividing board on two parts. No for opponent. No opponent can do. So let's go back. Maybe this
is the position
too.
that we might have. The rooks are already traded, queens are also traded, and here black is thinking to capture it with a king or with a rook.
Probably with the king because black plan has to be rook d8 to attack with this pawn. No, he takes with the rook. Yeah.
Okay, he can anyway come back right now.
Yeah, but king on g8 is maybe would be better on. If rook d8, it would be some bishop g5 additional. So maybe it is not so direct stuff as it was our idea. Okay, black can play bishop c8 first, then rook d8.
Yeah, bishop c8, preparing this to come with the tempo. Okay, I'll meanwhile look for the more interesting and sharp game.
Yes, let's go forward.
And let's go. This is an interesting position. We have here again the pawn on d6. This is the game not Ivan Shepard, no, Alexandra Garechkina and Vladimir Fedosiev.
Yes. Yes, rook d8. Yes, black plan is to attack this guy. What can you do? But okay, white plan can be e4, e5, if it will work. But e4, he will answer e5, yes? If white plays e4, then black answers simply e5, yeah?
e5.
If white plays bishop c4, no, bishop c4, then maybe, no, h6 is no big danger for white. h6, maybe simply rook cd3.
How about this move?
You see, knight d7 is not moving because of knight e5, so maybe, okay, it is possible with idea knight g6, yeah, and knight d7.
Knight d6 is also a threat.
Yes, knight d6, knight f5. Two ideas. When the move has two ideas, it's strong move, I used to say so.
Well told. Well said.
No, e5 is a bit risky, yes? No, after e4, let's go back. e4, yeah. e4 is idea e5, yeah?
Yeah.
Directly.
f6 won't stop this pawn anyway to come on e5, right?
Yes. No, the pawn, I don't know, bishop f3 can be played, yes.
Okay.
No, here is not so clear. No, maybe not e5, maybe bishop c4 first. We don't hurry with e5.
Bishop c4 here.
It was played f6?
We have some game. Instead of e4 here, Garechkina plays rook c2.
To play rook d2, a bit passive business. Okay, playable, no doubts, but a bit passive stuff.
She wants to make sure that this pawn still's alive.
Yeah. Knight f6, he will play rook cd, she will play rook cd2. Rook cd2. Knight e4 is too risky. So maybe knight e5 is next move for white.
Yeah, can
knight
I play
d5, then
something
knight
like
e5, yes. Of course.
e4?
e4, knight e4, yes. Okay, queen e3. Attacking. Take, yes. No, this central pawn is too strong. It's always very difficult to fight such pawns. It's not easy task. But okay, white has to be easier precise. So a very interesting strategical game. How to use this strong central pawn. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, instead of knight f6.
G6 was.
Yeah, g6 was played here.
The idea is if e4 to play something like queen g7. And to try to block on black squares. It is some idea. So because the guy is strong grandmaster and very inventive. Yes, bishop f3. Yes, it is the idea. Knight e5. Yeah. So it is the idea to try to attack not the head, but to attack the rear. Like in the military strategy on the sea, where to attack. To attack head attack or attack from the rear, because there are many ships, and and there is rear admiral on every side, ready to fight and ready to defend on both sides. The same here in this structure, to attack d6 or to attack e pawn. This is very interesting strategical position, so it's not so easy. Because if bishop c4, then bishop c4 is possible. Yes. Oh. Queen is on g7.
He played queen g7.
Yeah. Okay, he wants to fight this pawn. It's complicated way, rather, how to fight this pawn, but okay, this way is interesting. Okay, black has problems, you see, with this setup queen e2 and bishop c4. Problems with pawn with rook c8. Rook cannot play anywhere because pawn is hanging on a6.
Yeah.
So white has to play well prepared e4, e5, but it's not so easy because e5 will be met with knight e5. Yeah.
Knight g5 was played here by Garechkina. She probably wants to jump on e4, or what's the idea of this move?
I don't think that e4 is jump. h6, knight e4, f5 is possible. Knight c3. I don't consider it big success. Maybe knight e5. Why it is success, I don't understand.
Knight g5, and very likely here black will play h6 move.
h6, where black has additionally e5. You know, not okay. If knight e5, I mean, but knight e5. Some funny. I'm not sure that this move was necessary. Knight was better controlling e5 square, so knight f6 was played.
Yeah, Fedosia
stopping
plays
knight e4. Yes, bishop goes to c4 and then h6. Maybe. No, then knight e4 additionally can be played.
Yeah.
Yes, knight f6, knight e4. I don't think that Gurechkina played, best setup of the pieces. They were great masters of these setups of pieces like Anatoly Karpov, Michael Adams, or Carlsen. They are fantastic masters of rearranging pieces.
Yeah. Talking about Adams here, we have a very interesting game, Duda versus Adams. Let me get there. So we have this.
Yes, e4 is logical move.
Yeah, e4 was played.
I didn't like it.
Sorry,
White won the pawn.
Yeah, I just switched to this. So there was a moment when I checked, and here after rook c5 here, white is winning the pawn on b file.
Knight e5 last move.
Knight e5 was played.
What is the reason? But what is the reason of knight e5? I don't understand very well. Okay, he wants to attack f7, I understand, but knight c6 is protecting pawn. He could do different things. Knight e4 was a threat, but it not so big threat. Look, they just put back knight on c6. For example, white could play something like rook c1, bc1, protecting knight c6. Oh, no, white on move here. Rook c1 with idea knight e4, rook a5 here. So because knight is protecting this pawn, and it's much easier task. White can make free both rooks. Yes. So it's a bit okay. Decision is more tactical. Knight e5. What Duda play? Duda wants to come to the 7th rank. Yeah.
Yeah. Knight e4 is on the board and attacking the rook right now. And the next move of white can be check and then come on c7 or immediately rook c7.
Yes. Or immediately rook c7. Yes, is the question. Adams is in trouble. It's obvious.
Is there some moves like b5 here, intermediate move?
Which moves?
b5. Or this is...
I don't see any big reason after rook takes b5. Okay, but possible rook c8, rook c7 then after rook 1 b5, but I'm not sure that it is big.
This keep the rook on the 8th rank and then get the queen.
No, queen to c7 with idea queen d8. Yes.
Yeah.
Double attack.
D6 then.
Double attack, knight d6. No. This is hanging.
Oh,
Is a rook.
no. I'm losing this rook. Okay. Rook will go somewhere. Rook d8?
No, Katie, just a second. Put it back. Yes. Rook d8 maybe. Rook d8. No, I was thinking queen e7, but it's not the case. Yes, rook d8.
Maybe b5 is the intermediate move.
Or maybe rook b7. No, rook b7 here is nothing. Queen d6. There are problems here. No, b5 is possible. No, it's clear that black is in trouble, in deep trouble. Duda is playing very nice, very instructive game, positional, against this pawn structure of black on the queen side. It was classical minority attack when he is winning pawn d6.
He played after 94 rook a5.
Yes, he took.
Now
this I don't like much. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it is winning, but maybe rook 1 b2. Then rook queen c8 check, king g7, and knight d7. No, knight d7, Kitty. Preparing mate.
Mate on the board.
Yeah. This is problem for black, obviously. Okay, white has very good coordination, queen and knight, yeah. Okay, it's question. Was it the most optimal solution?
Yeah.
This b5.
That's
the question. Yes, as you offered b5, rook c7. There were a few other options which were not equally, but maybe even stronger. But okay, it is life. You cannot ever. You can always try to find something better.
So here, Adams made a move and played king g7, and Duda is thinking.
No, his idea queen c8, then he will play rook b8 and tries to kick him out. Yes, to kick him out. And queen c7 and the rook once more to b7. 1 b7, for example. Then rook can come to a8, start to attack pawn a. Still some chances for black. I am not sure that it was optimal
How about
solution
a6
for
here?
rook a7 probably. No, sorry, it's hanging. Yes.
Yes.
No, then it is winning simply. What?
If the rook leaves the 7th rank, then we're going here, and it's possible to defense.
Yeah.
And for example, if this rook comes here, that's gonna be also losing.
Yeah, a6. If rook 1 b2, then a
oh,
b7.
He played f3. He doesn't like this idea to play a6. He plays f3 instead.
No, you know what would be with a6? Probably, just a second, go back. If a6, probably rook a7 b2, queen c7, and rook takes f2. a7, and then now rook a1 or something like rook b2,
Rook b2?
Or rook b2, yes.
How about this one?
Then queen b8, queen b7, yes, rook a2. Rook a2. No,
A8.
rook 1 a2. It's counter-attacking chances, yes. Trying to counter-attack. Queen is dangerous. It will be mated.
There we go.
Knight g3. Yeah. So you see, it is Duda was. I am not sure that it is allowing some counterplay for black. I'm not sure that it is so easily winning. But okay, f3 maybe is a good one. Maybe because rook b2, queen c8, maybe knight d2 something. He starts jump on the yes.
Knight d2.
Knight.
Can I
Knight
play this or maybe a6 first?
A6 first. Yes, a6 looks to be logical. So, rook a7, what else? And then knight d7. Maybe it is good. Then, okay, knight f3 check, king g3, knight rook d7, rook takes d7, queen d7, knight e1. Oh my god. Then king comes to rook g2, king f4, king f4, then knight e1, knight d6 check, yes? No, I mean if a7, look.
Is it checkmate, no?
a4.
No.
If a7, then rook g2, yes. So h4 is correct, yes?
Yeah.
Rook takes and king h3.
If a7, that's beautiful checkmate. Let's show this on the board. Check.
No, maybe not checkmate.
Checkmate.
No, I mean king f4 is better.
Mm.
King f4 is better. Not king h4, king f4. Then at least is knight d3, king h3, and knight e1 back.
Yeah.
making
Nice.
potential. There are tricky stuff. It's always when there is knight on the board. Yes, knight is the most unbelievable piece, yes? Which can
knight is the most tricky.
From different angles, yes? If you see bishop, you know what is this. Because it's directed, yes?
Yeah.
But when you have knight, you don't know, you can't expect from which side it will jump out.
Mm-hmm. So this is a position knight plays on c4, and here Duda goes for knight g4.
Yes, because knight takes just a second, go back. Knight c4. Was it possible knight d7?
I think black's idea here is just to sacrifice
he takes knight a5.
And then comes here.
Yeah. You see, there are now black is, Mickey Adams is very good defender, yes? Mm-hmm. I don't think that this decision of Duda was the most correct practical decision, you see?
Mm-hmm.
What now, knight f6 or what? Or what else? Maybe a6 include, but a6 I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Rook a7, then it's rook a7.
He goes knight f6. Knight
f6, yeah, knight f6 first, because it's time. Still time to do something, yeah?
Oh, I see Duda shaking his head. Maybe he's not happy anymore.
Who?
Duda.
Of course not happy, because now he has maybe knight h5. He has to take this knight on e3.
After pawn takes.
But after king h7, what he will do? And then rook a2, and he will lose this pawn. He will have h pawn. But this will be always king e8. It's just taken. Rook. See, there are chances now. Mm-hmm. There are chances now. There are, it's not clean game. It was very clean game before, and started some cowboy stuff.
Showing off. So here there's no point to defense a5 pawn, because rook will anyway attack and take. So he's going for h pawn now. Queen h6 was played.
Yes, we did discussed, yes.
King goes where? No matter, queen will take. And here I think white's idea is to get this queen here on g file.
And then to push pawn h, yes. But then with two rooks, rook can stop it. So it's not Duda went into some adventures which were not necessary. Let's go to some other games.
Let's get to the next game. This is the second board in the same match, and still we have the most of the pieces on the board. The other games are almost finished, and here we have everything on the board. So complicated.
But white would try to play g4. If white will succeed g4, white will destroy black. So, but knight e1, how to handle it? Knight e3, rook g1 or what? Oh
knight
my
c1.
God!
He's going for d3.
Knight e3. Come on! Who is this? Luke McShane, or who is it?
It's Lukmakshane and Wojciech Moranda.
He overlooked knight d3. Okay, improving knight from a5 to d3. Can you imagine?
But hold
It's
on,
just
is
possible.
not there a chance that White will play a5, or he's not afraid of this
Yes,
a5?
it is, but then it is controlled. It's nothing dangerous. Yes. Okay. Oh my God. Rook h8.
Then White should not allow this, right?
Of course not. Oh, now knight. Come on. Yeah. Such great player as Luke McShane overlook knight c1, knight d3. Cheap jump.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he has to take on d3 now, but he made everything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Now threat is rook h3, knight f4. Very unpleasant.
The threat is to take and knight f4.
And knight f4, yeah.
Yeah. No, really unpleasant.
Look, if you allow knight from a5 to come to d3 to make your, you see, he has to sacrifice.
Oh, he sacrificed. But after this,
what else?
Can I sacrifice now back?
No, he will take with probably with the king, but I'm
King
not sure.
take.
Here there is no mate, of course. Knight f4 is not mate.
Can I prepare?
I mean, take queen e8. Yes, this, and then maybe here bishop e3 simply.
All right.
Queen h6.
But what happens
Yes.
after if I take here and then I play queen f8?
And then it will be knight g3 and queen is or bishop g3, knight g3 and king is running back to g2. Knight g3, for example.
Knight g3. All right. So what we have here is this position. Black managed to double the rooks on the h file. We don't have any more sacrifice here.
Knight g1. You see, Luke must defend stubbornly. And black now, you know what he will do. He can do with bishop c8, d7, e8, h5, and so on. Yeah, it
Like
would be dream.
Stonewall.
Yes, dream maneuver. Stonewall, yes, is even worse than Stonewall. Stonewall is on c8 the direction.
He's going for it. He's going for it.
Oh, come on, it's obvious.
Rook c8 is bishop c8 is on the board. Now he plays queen g8, just open up the road for the bishop. That's still the part of the Stonewall bishop.
Yes, he must bring more energy into his position.
Yeah, he has this piece extra. Pieces extra, so you have to.
Oh my God. Moranda, what he wants. You see, bishop e8, bishop h5, so bishop g4.
Was that queen h7 necessary?
No, it's good because it's made double 3 attacks. Now he has to play knight f2 at any price.
Ooh, there we go. Sacrifice or blunder on h3.
Well, that's a blunder. It's blunder of white.
Yeah,
knight f3 is clear blunder.
Here the last move, knight f3.
Okay, it's a blunder. Pity he had great position, you know, it's psychology. He had great position and he started to spoil it, and he allowed opponent's knight comes to d3. So you know, you spoil and you are dissatisfied. You don't play objectively. You started to dream about what was happening, what I did in the position, and so on and so on. And at the end, you are losing game. It's I had in my practice 1,000 times like this. In this rapid control, what can you do? It's tendency, you know, because in general, in the game, you can repair your mistakes sometimes.
Yeah.
You can understand, but in rapid, to repair a mistake is very difficult.
Yeah. You don't have enough time to call all your thoughts. So this is one of the 2 games which are left in the round 4 for the finals, and this is Bassem Amin against Georg Meyer.
Black is winning. No, it's draw. It's draw. It's c1 and king d3.
It's black to move.
Okay.
So there was a draw after queen.
Yes, it's draw. Take and king d3. Yes.
Yeah. So we have this position now. Black went for G pawn and King E2, and we're gonna have here draw soon.
Oh, come on! What the guys are doing?
You know, it's
Crazy.
more complicated to offer a draw rather than to fix it by yourself. So that's what I also do here.
Yeah.
In online chess, you never know.
Cannot, you know, in live chess you can immediately say finish.
Yeah.
But in this game, how do you say draw?
In online, you can just, there's like resignation button and offer draw button very close to each other. Maybe you will misclick in this process, so it's better to fix it.
Yeah, this button is not existing.
So this is the position, Hare Krishna and Artemiev. White is winning here. White is going to win this bishop. And after some moves, there will be resignation.
It is a joke, of course. Knight E4.
And C5.
And C5. Okay, C6. Easy job. C6, he'll play King E6. He's tricky. He's tricky. Then plays H3, King D6, and who knows? Oh my God.
I'll play this, Adrian.
He played it.
I played this. No.
Yeah.
And after this?
And so what?
This.
Oh, come on.
This.
Queen.
This.
Yes, and then King E5, Queen C5. Okay, White has to be winning, but with queens on the board always start some jumps.
Yeah, let's not do it. Not do it. Let's play better here, and he does this.
Yes. He will now queen, and then another pawn in game will appear. Okay, he plays even simpler. Yes, and now King E7, King E6. Okay, few checks. And King D6.
King, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Artemir doesn't want to give up yet. But he has to. He has to.
He has 3 tumbles short. Yes.
So we have a resignation. So it was the final game. Also very interesting pawn and game in the end. Pawn and knight.
It's really quite exciting wars, you know. That both the guys are running for own pawns. It's beautiful.
Yeah. You have to be anyway careful, even if you have some material extra. You have to be really careful, and so tricky time control. We have here 15 minutes plus 5 seconds. Shall we take a look at the standings after round 4, and let's find out who are the leaders. We don't have it yet. Okay, let's take a look.
Games are over. All games are over, ne?
Yeah, our games are over already. So here we have the situation. We don't have much. We have a change. We have changes here. I remember Hamburg was on the 3rd position, but now it went down. So the leaders are Cliché Chas, a French team, and then we have a German team, SF Daizaju. Yeah, tell me, Adrian, how to pronounce.
They know this. Daizizao, yes.
Daizizao? Oh my God, I was living in Dai. Okay, marked it. Noted. Then we have Mednik Sadnik, also in top 3 teams. And we have Novibor and Poland Hoosiers also following with 5 points. So we have some changes from 3rd round. So that seems like we're gonna have more and more changes for the finals tomorrow. We're gonna have rest of the rounds tomorrow, and the games will start at 2:30 Central European time. Please join me for the finals, and that's gonna be, I promise you, it's gonna be interesting games. Thank you, Adrian, so much for your time and for your interesting commentary.
I enjoyed it. was very much nice games, interesting chess. So it's really to enjoy, and I think that our public is enjoying this competition so much. We are hungry for real chess because these games are much more interesting than these all top competitions which we had all the last times. This is much more exciting games, much more exciting games.
I agree with that.
So we enjoy it.
I agree with that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Adrian, so much. Thank you for watching.
Okay,
I'll
thank
come
you,
back.
Kate. All the best.
Bye bye. I'll come back tomorrow at 2:30 Central European time. So please join me. And until tomorrow.